Hey, what's up, guys? Chugging along here on these heads, and I want to give you guys a quick overview on how to use the BTR tools, the spring compressor, and then I also have their fancy their valve seat tool. Because a buddy of mine was giving me a hard time. He's like, "What are you doing with the valve seals, man?" And I'm like, "Dude, this little tool, it's awesome." Because everybody figures, a light dead blow and a socket, but you with this little guy, where to stick it? With this little guy, it fits perfectly over top of the valve seals. It's machined to do it. I think it was super cheap. It was like 15 bucks. It's got their little name on it and everything. So let me set this up. First thing I was going to show you, the directions don't really do a good job describing what orientation to put this. As far as I can tell, because this is the last one, that's the right way. I had it the other way and it seemed like it was tilted. I can't tell if it really was or not, but this has been the way that's worked for me. So this little spacer goes here, and I'm doing this one-handed. Then your tool goes here. You run these down not tight at all. Remember, this is aluminum heads. So I've just gone down to just barely snugged, and hand tight, and then just with a little bit with a ratchet. Not much at all. Once that's on, I'll come right back. All right, so once you snug these down, you run this down. I don't know what the cutouts are for, but in the picture they have it this way. So on the car, if you're doing this with the heads on and a complete motor, you'll plug the spark plug hole with. They have a special adapter that you can energize compressed air into it. That'll hold your valve shut. Off the car, nothing holds the valve. So whenever I compress this, I start to compress it here. The valves come down a little bit. So the only thing I got to do is I've just taken the socket and given a little tap, and that shocks these loose. I got to do that two-handed though. I can't do it one-handed, so bear with me. All right, so once you run that down and your valves are being held up by the air pressure, they recommend taking a magnet, especially if you are doing this in the car, which more power to you. The thought of that in my back just doesn't work. But they said take a magnet and catch your locks. That way they don't fall down in. And I will attest to working on it over here. I've dropped a couple today just because it didn't matter. I'm working on the bench, so it doesn't matter. So that's how this tool works. Super handy. Once you do that, you just go ahead and uncompress it. Everything comes right off. The next video, or the next part of this, I'll show you guys how to do the valve seals. All right, so here we're at. I pulled the springs off. You saw everything up to the part of literally just unbolting this and lifting the springs off. So these are your stock ones. At least these are my stock ones. And all I did was take a decent sized pair of channel locks. You just grab them. And I'm doing this one-handed, so I apologize. Oops. Trying to watch the screen and do it at the same time. And they pull right off. So no big deal. You yank those off, and I'll be right back. Okay, so pulled both of those off, no big deal. Like I said, here on the bench, there's nothing holding my valves open, so closed. So I'll talk about that in a sec. Next thing you do is you take your new seals, which are smaller. They won't work. See, like these are stock, and those are little itty bitty. And the reason why that matters is this lip here holds the single spring on for the stock spring. Well, on the new spring, you've got two, because you got inner and an outer. So you need, and actually I almost messed up. Glad I kind of did that, because it shows everybody what not to do. Here, hold on. Let me look at it and do it. So you need to not forget your seats. So if you do that, you're gonna have to pull these guys back off, and you're probably gonna ruin them. So don't do that. I've almost done that twice now. So maybe not be distracted. Actually, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. These are a little nasty, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So this is what my buddy saw me doing, and he's like, "Dude, what are you doing? Like, are you like?" He like had the emoji where he was holding his hand over his face. Anyway, I'm trying to do this and look through the camera at the same time. So it comes with this little eye loop thing, which looks like something from the hardware store. And you get this little guy, which is machined perfectly for the valve seal. And you can take a punch, a screwdriver, doesn't really matter. It takes minimal force. And all you're going to do is seated. No dead blow, nothing. That's on. So after that, so I'll do that one real quick, and then we'll go ahead and go through the quick process of putting it back together. So all right, so we're all done with valve seals. They're on there. We remembered the seats, thank God. You're gonna toss your springs on, easy peasy, just like that. You're gonna put your tool back in, compress them down, but you're gonna remember your retainers. So put your retainers on top, compress them, and then you can put your locks in. So I've found with these, the best way to do it is to compress a little bit extra further, just because there's nothing holding my valves up, so I'm having to grab them a little bit with I've been using just a little pick, this thing right here, on the little hook, just kind of holding it up a little bit to help. So sorry about, it's a little blurry, my camera's a little dirty. Hope you guys are having a good one. That's my quick tutorial on how to use the BTR tools.